full intro, so like that or not, I'm playing the intro. Yeah, baby. Welcome. All the people, all the haters that were on here. Today is going to be addressing we're going to cancel the cancel. We're going to stop the steal. In other words, we're not going to let the Trump administration use all their tricks to begin to nationalize the midterms. In other words, get the federal government to take over so that they can try to win the election, even if they don't win the election. Very important. All right. So, Heist, where did this idea come from? Let's see here. Getting ready here. Oh, I'm professional again. All right. Let me get everything here. I'm about to tell you this, and then I will tell you at the end that the Orioles tomorrow are having Japanese Heritage Day, and they got some cool shirt from promotion. I'm going to show everybody. All right, glad you're with us. Get on here, everybody. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. It's a rumor, though, about the Trump wanting to nationalize. That just means take over federal government. In other words, steal midterms, to take over the voting of the midterms. Now, here is the exact wording in the Constitution of these here United States that shows how this would be an illegal act. This is the exact wording. Can you all see this here? Yes, I think you can. Wait, that's not the best. All right. It says here, the times, places, and manner of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof. The Congress may at time, by law, make or alter such regulations, except as to the places of choosing senators. So it's Congress who would have to do it. I don't know. That's how it says in the Constitution. It's run by the states. Okay. All right. Now, let us show that this is when Trump himself first brought this up several months back on a show called Dan Bonjoni Show. All right, let's find that clip here. Hold on. Let's see. Let's stop sharing that. We're slowing down here. They say don't slow down like this. Keep everybody hooked. Are y'all hooked? I hope so. But we always have technical problems here anyways. Stop sharing that thing here. And we will.
President Trump says Republicans should take away control of elections from at least 15 states.
All right, we get this. Okay, this is the clip that I've been waiting for. You don't get professionalism like this in every station. This is the channel that gives you. Here we go. Here it is, the clip. And here it is. Pretend this is all going quite well and all professional. Think of the information I'm giving.
President Trump says Republicans should take away control of elections from at least 15 states. He didn't say which ones. Voting is plainly specified in Article 1 of the Constitution as a right belonging to the states. But Trump spoke yesterday in a podcast with former FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino.
The Republicans ought to nationalize the voting. And we have states that are so crooked, and they're counting votes. We have states that I won that show I didn't win. Now you're going to see something in Georgia where they were able to get with a court order the ballots. You're going to see some interesting things come out.
Last week, FBI agents raided an elections office near Atlanta, Georgia. They seized hundreds of boxes with ballots inside them from the 2020 presidential election. Trump claims he won that national election. He didn't. He claims he won the state of Georgia in 2020. He didn't. Georgia officials say they don't know where those ballots are now. This is NPR.
President Trump says Republicans.
All right,
should
see
take
everybody.
away-
That's pretty clear. Trump is still not accepting the results of the 2020 election, let alone but he only accepted the results of the 2024 election because he won. So of course. All right. So let's not act like this is something ridiculous or what can't happen or wouldn't happen. These guys start a rumor, man. They're serious about this shit. You got to give them that. I mean, they do what they want, especially President Trump. He does what he wants, and he can get his sycophants, his cult, to follow, to do what he wants. They don't care. So it was on the Dan Bongino's podcast. The House Sparks calls him Dan Bongholio, which is he was some Butthead reference. Maybe you all don't know that. That's all right. This is what Donald Trump said then. The Republicans should say, we want to take over. We should take over the voting in at least 15 places. The Republicans ought to nationalize the voting. So that means that the federal government, which the Republicans hold all the levers of power in the federal government, will decide the results of the election one way or another. And since these guys are in power, what way do you think that would go? Whether the voters aren't in the midterms are not going to be voting for what we're going through now. I don't care. So they want to take over, and that's what they're going to go forward with trying to do it, whether they try to walk it back now to keep people unsuspected. But we know how they work. A lot of people heard that quote back then. That was about 3 months ago, and got worried. But they try to calm themselves by saying that the Constitution can't be broken. It can't. They sure can find ways around it. Elections are run by the states, not the president. The founders made sure no one person in Washington control who gets to vote. There's over 10,000 local election offices. It's made that way so that nobody can just flip a switch and take over. The nationalizing of the vote is trying to push strict voter ID laws and putting pressure on some states to literally cancel their elections. It can't happen overnight, but it can happen. The information from this comes from that interview with Dan Bongino. The clip was that you can see on CNN. The New York Times and VoteBeat also talked about this. These are the main places that are reporting on it. It has the public statements in those sources that we can look at. I think I can find another clip of Trump saying, this is about 3 months ago, talking about it again and doing some denying again. Let's see. Let's see that clip.
Which 15 states are you
I
talking
want to
about?
see elections be honest. And if a state can't run an election, I think the people behind me should do something about it. Because, if you think about it, the state is an agent for the federal government in elections. I don't know why the federal government doesn't do them anyway. But when you see some of these states about how horribly they run their elections, what a disgrace it is, I think the federal government, when you see crooked elections, and we had plenty of them, and by the way, we had them last time, but go to 2020 and look at the facts that are coming out. Rigged, crooked elections. If we have areas, take a look at Detroit, take a look at Pennsylvania, take a look at Philadelphia. You go take a look at Atlanta, look at some of the places that horrible corruption on elections. And the federal government should not allow that. The federal government should get involved. These are agents of the federal government to count the votes. If they can't count the votes legally and honestly, then somebody else should take
But the
over.
Constitution says it should be states that
Go
administer
ahead.
elections, Mr. President.
Yeah,
That's
they
what
can,
the
you know what?
Constitution says.
They can administer the election, but they have to do it honestly.
You got to hear about this thing. There's this new pair of glasses.
So that was about 3 months ago, but that's another sign of what is intended. Remember, let's look at it this way. In rural places where rural legislations try to administer elections that are red states, they're going to get more red state, red voting. I don't like to look at it like that. And in cities, they're going to be blue voting. So what Donald Trump is angry about are results if they don't favor him, not any process. The Republicans used to be so much against the federalizing of anything, being so much for states' rights that they even try to frame the Civil War. When I was raised many years ago, they didn't even mention slavery when we talked about the Civil War. It was all states' rights, states' rights, states' rights. Because the movement at that time was to stop civil rights, but that's another story. But Republicans are supposed to believe in states' rights, but of course they won't if the dear leader tells them. So there's over 10,000 local elections offices, and it's made that way so that no one can take over like Donald Trump wants to. He knows things don't look good for the midterm, the economy, and on the foreign policy world is completely crumbled, cratered. The country is in an all-time low of just being psychologically depressed. Prices are high. Gas prices are extremely high. We're losing a war in Iran. And the best that can come out of all the destruction and devastation of Iran now will be the deal in place that was already in place that Donald Trump tore up when he got elected in his first term. So the White House has drawn up some sort of paper, and they follow these papers like the 2025 project. So they will just try to get their hand in the proceedings any way they can to help Donald Trump win an election or the midterms, help Republicans win the midterms. Thank God Donald Trump can't run again, but we'll deal with that. All right. What can someone in Baltimore do about it? You're sitting in Baltimore. What can you do besides you can contribute to voters? We're usually pretty good about being a blue state against Trump. If you're in this city and you're worried about this, like I am, like we are here at the podcast, you can get involved. Common Cause Maryland is something you can look up and try to get yourself involved or contribute somehow. The ACLU of Maryland, the League of Women Voters, they all have election protection programs. You can volunteer as a poll watcher. You can help with voter registration here in Maryland or in other states. And you can join the hotlines on election day to get any report on any kind of shenanigans with voting. Turnout is what matters, no matter what Trump does. A bigger turnout in 2024 would have been a different result. But that's done. And we can't litigate the 2024 election anymore. We have to continue on. So let's see, what more can we say about this? We're worried about this. Focus on it. Focus for helping the candidates in our state, and you can go volunteer in other states to help them with their midterms as far as their candidates in those states, Democrats. In Pennsylvania and Virginia, especially Virginia now that the reaction to the Texas debacle of gerrymandering, Democrats tried to be proactive and answer it. That got changed. But you can go to Virginia and help the candidates there. You know, just don't minimize it. Don't think that these are just people panicking or trying to come up with an issue. With this MAGA administration, you don't really have to come up with issues. You just have to be prepared and know that they are capable to try anything, and in many cases succeed, as long as it serves their needs, which we know is the needs of, or the ego or the appetite of the Donald. So it all comes down to that. It's a very strange cult, and it's very difficult to fight since they do have control of courts, Senate, Congress, and the White House. Okay. But everyone, we have to get more people out to vote. So that's what you got to do. You got to get your friends out to vote in other places. You must go out to vote, or don't complain about anything. You must be part of the process. You have to contribute. You have to do what you can in your local elections and in the national elections. Do what you can to help the party in the midterms, because it's very important that we put a check on MAGA and what they're doing now. All right, everybody. I would like everyone to like and subscribe. I see we're getting some comments. Some people love it. Some people are going to subscribe. I thank everybody who does. We're really working hard to improve the podcast. These are some very important issues, extremely important, and comes to what we are morally as a country, what we're going, and what kind of country we're going to be. We've suffered enough with 10 years of this MAGA stuff. That is what I'll say about that today. But let me add something of some kind of close on some interesting news, or something to do here in Baltimore, local. They are going to have a Japanese Heritage Night tomorrow night at the ballpark. Let's see. I'll share the screen. Okay. So it's Japanese Heritage Night. Look at that. Now, join the Orioles on a Japanese Heritage Celebration in Camden Yards. That's pretty cool. Orioles take on the Yankees. That's cool. 6:35 p.m. Remember, 6:35. If you get the package through this, if you get the special package, you'll get this very cool jersey. Now, come on, this is a cool jersey. You see it here? That's awesome. So tomorrow, May 13th, 6:35 at Oriole Park. Get on this the Baltimore site and get yourself some tickets and go to the game. Have a good time on a Wednesday night here in the city. I promise you, you'll like it. Okay, now let us go to something else that's cool. I'm going to show you some shorts made for the channel, and I think are funny, made with some AI. I'm going to show. No, wait, hold on now. Ooh, no. All right. First, it's going to be, let's get to that. Okay, first it's going to be the Donald Trump cognitive test. Let's see if you like this one. Made this one. Oh, it's not really the Donald now. It is AI. So, let's remember that. We're not trying to say it's a real Donald. We're not trying to be fake. Share the screen. Okay. Here we go. Presidential cognitions. We see this here. All right. Enjoy this. As long as it's taking me to get it in here, enjoy.
Identifying lion, bear, giraffe, squirrel, elephant, alligator.
But look at what they showed me. How would you do? But I picked bear, and guess what? So I'm smarter than you think you are.
All right, that was great. Was it? Maybe not. Let's make ourselves feel that it was. How do we do that? We do this. We have a laugh track. No, we'll just have to do it. All right, that was one. Let's try another. This is another short that they did. These two shorts are tributes to the to Law and Order. The legendary Law and Order. So these are our shorts, so we have no problem showing them. This is Dunk Part 1. This is myself and our sports guy team. We did the parts of the detectives. Are you ready? Yes, you are.
What are we looking at, Levitt? Homicide, sir. Victim's over there. Witnesses? None yet, sir. Victim was working his pizza place by himself. Perp must have come in for pickup. No money missing. 4.44 caliber. Okay, pull surveillance. Get a bus here. Can you believe this? New York never ceases to amaze. Shooting a guy you bought pizza from? No wonder people love DoorDash so much these days.
All right, all right. Funny stuff, funny stuff. Come on, that was funny stuff. Let's give another cheer for that. All right, and then it was a part 2.
You won't believe what?
All right. Let's get this to start over.
You won't believe.
All right, and now we are going to go see part 2 of that. You ready? Get ready for this excitement like you've never seen. Probably have, but I'm going to try to impress. Anyways, here we go.
You won't believe what happened. What? Tell me. I saw Mike downtown. He says hi. No way. How's he doing?
We should all get together.
Yeah, let's do it.
Would you be David Royal?
We know what you did. Don't make this harder. Talk now. I don't know anything. Stop, police. Leave me alone. You can't run forever. Stop, police. We've got questions about the shooting of Oscar Unger. You think I killed that pizza guy?
Well, we're not looking at you for ordering anchovies.
You won't believe what?
All right, that is some funny stuff. You can do all kinds of weird stuff with AI as long as you tell them it's AI. All right, everybody, that's all for now. Like, subscribe, tell all your friends, and remember, the thing is to get involved. Take action. Don't just sit back and worry about things and talk about it. Actually go out and do something. You can go to Act Blue to contribute. You can call the local Democratic Party to find out what they need. You can go volunteer in other states to help them have turnout for the midterms. All right, everybody. As we always love to say, F MAGA, and we will talk to you all later next time.
Big Rooster.